welcome to this video tutorial. And yes, this is another video tutorial. And my name is SJ Galula, a Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics student of Cabadbaran City National High School. So this session we are going to talk about ellipse.
So in this session, I'm going to teach you on how to graph the ellipse. So the first thing we need to know is the things we need to find or calculate in order for us to graph the ellipse. Here are the things. The first one is the center. The second is the A, B, and C. And the third is the focus. So since we're talking about ellipse, there are two focus, so it's foci. So the fourth one is vertices. And the last one is called vertices. So these are the 5 things we need to find for us to graph the ellipse. Okay, so let's start with finding the A, B, and C. This is how we find the A. So A is equal to 2. A squared. Suppose we have 25 in A. We just need to square it the both sides. So we have A is equal to 5. So the same with B. B squared. Suppose we have 81. So square root. So our B is equal to 9. The thing we need to remember about A and B is that you can't identify them by X and Y, or the horizontal axis for an A and vertical axis for B. It's not like that. It's actually this. A is for the bigger number and B is always for the smaller number. So let's see this an example. Suppose we have X squared over 81 plus Y squared over. So the bigger number here is 169. So this is our A, and the smaller number is 81, so this is our B. It's like this. B squared is equal to 81 square root. So our B is equal to 9, and our A is 169. So square root. A is equal to 13. So let's move on to C. So the formula of C is like this. As I have told you, A is supposed to be the bigger number so that we can subtract the B. So it will be like this. So our A is 169 minus 81 squared. So C is equal to 88. After this will be 4 times 22. It will turn into 2 square root of 22. We have approximately into 9.38 minutes. So this is how are we going to find the C. So if this is hyperbola, which will be our next topic on the next video, the C will be this. c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, so the next thing we need to find is the center. We can identify this by, suppose we have this example again. We can find the center here. So since it has no value, so our center is 0 and 0. So if our center is x minus 5, we have this equation. So our center is negative 5 and 2. So this is how we're going to find the center. So the next thing we need to find is the foci. Foci will depend on the equation, and so will the vertices and the co-vertices. So if the equation is in the x-axis for a major axis, and if it is in y-axis, so the formula of the foci and the major axis of x-axis will be this. H, or the horizontal axis, plus minus c and k. While in y-axis, it will be this. So as you can notice, we just put the C wherever the major axis is. If the x-axis is the major axis, we put the C to the horizontal axis because x-axis is the horizontal axis. And here we put the C at the y-axis because the y-axis is the major axis. Okay, the next thing we need to find is the vertices. So in major axis, if the major axis is the x-axis, the formula of the vertices will be like this. H plus minus A and K. And if the major axis is y-axis, our formula will be like this. H K plus and minus A. So as you can notice, we just put A wherever the major axis is. If the major axis is x-axis, so we just put the A to the horizontal axis, so the H1, and K whenever it is y-axis. The next thing we need to find is the co-vertices. If the major axis is x-axis, so our formula of co-vertices is this. And in major axis, y-axis, So as have you noticed, we can only put the B wherever the opposite of the major axis. So since our major axis is x-axis, so we put the B to the y-axis or the vertical axis. So the same with the major axis of y-axis, we put the B to the horizontal axis because our major axis is y-axis. So since we already know how to find the center A, B, and C, the foci, the vertices, and the co-vertices, let's now move on to the example. So let this example be your practice. Suppose we have this equation, x squared over 144 plus y squared over 169 is equal to 1. So this equation is an example of center of origin. So the first thing we need to do is find the center. So the center is 0, 0 because it is an equation of center of origin. So the next thing we need to find is A. So since 169 is the bigger number, so our A is 169. Squared. Now we have our A is equal to 13. And B is 144 squared. So our B is equal to 12. Plus, minus, plus. So our C is 169 minus 144 square root. So C is equal to square root of 25. So our C is equal to 5. So since we already have the A, B, and C in the value of center 0, all we need to do is to find the foci, vertices, and the co-vertices. So let's start with foci. So since 169 is bigger than 144, 169 is located on the y-axis or the vertical axis. So our foci will be this. C. Now we have to calculate it. The F1. So H is 0. So 0 minus 5. Now we have 0, negative 5 for our F1. And then the F2, 0, 0 plus 5. And then we now have 0 positive 5. So next is vertices. So the vertices, our formula is this: H plus K, K plus and minus A. So our V1, 0 because 0 here, 0. Our A is 13, so 13. And now we have negative 13. And the V2, or the second vertex, is 0, 0 plus 13. And then we now have 0 positive 13.
Go.
So next is the co-vertices. So co-vertices. So by the way guys, our co-vertices is denoted by W's. W1 and W2. So our co-vertices is, the formula of our co-vertices is H plus. Okay. So our first co-vertices is 0 plus and minus 12. Minus 12. So now we have 0, negative 12, 0. And the second co-vertices is 0 plus 12, 0. And now we have positive 12, 0.
Go.
So since we already have the values, so now let's move on to the graphing part. So the next thing we do is to graph. So since we already have the values, so all we need is to graph. So so our center is 0, 0. So here, this is our C. And our first focus is 0, negative 5. 0, 0, negative 5. Here. This is our first focus. And the second focus is 0, 5. And the first vertex is 0, 13. 0 and 13. Vertex 1. And the second vertex is 0, negative 13. Second vertex. And the first co-vertex is negative 12 and 0. First vertex and our second vertex. So let's just trace this to this. And here. So our graph looks like this.
So that's it for this video tutorial. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Bye!